Well, my last story from the Appalachian Trails. I had a great time. 164 plus miles through West Virginia, pieces of West Virginia and pieces of Virginia. Had a blast. Totally disconnected from the rest of the world and just been surrounded by nature. It's quite a rhythm that goes on in the woods. It's a routine. My usual routine every day was I would wake up at 5:15 to the sounds of birds starting to sing. First one or two, and then within 15 or 20 minutes, it would come to a crescendo, almost like your alarm clock getting louder and louder. And you'd wake up, and I'd break down my camp, which is tuck my sleeping bag into its bag, fold and roll my air mattress, take down my tent. For me, it was oatmeal in the morning with some raisins and make some coffee. Throw it all in my backpack and put it on and begin to hike. Within about 2 hours, you'd start to hear the pileated woodpeckers start singing to each other, trying to figure out which tree to operate on next to get the grubs out of them. During the day, it's not unusual to see deer, rabbits, fox, turkeys, different types of bugs and flowers and mushrooms, and I could just go on and on. It's just awesome just to see it all out there while you're hiking. And yes, it's a lot of work. And yes, you can't look at something and say, I can't do that. You have to do it. You're in the middle of nowhere. You got to get over that mountain, and you're gonna do it. But at the end of the day, you come into your shelter that hopefully you planned on. For us, that's the way it was. Got into the shelter, looked for a campsite, set up your camp, look for dinner in that food bag of yours, pull out the dinner, make the dinner, have good conversations with a lot of new people that you meet in the shelters, because we were headed south, most people were headed north, so every night it was a different group or no one at all. You just never know. And then after that, I'd actually go to bed pretty early. You know, I'd be in that tent about 7 o'clock just to get my feet up and off the ground from hiking anywhere between 9 and 16 and a half, 17 miles. Long day. Sometimes that could be 4 mountains you were climbing over. You know, I met a lot of people too while I was out there. It was pretty cool. It really was. All different types of people. You know, there was one gentleman, he was a high-ranking military officer. And he was there, he started in Georgia, and he was headed to Katahdin. Told a story of how his wife last year, she died of a heart attack in his arms. Almost made me cry. And then his son committed suicide 6 months later. I hate to tell you such a sad story, but he was out in the trail just trying to figure out what his next steps in life were. And he was loving being out in that trail. He still has 2 kids. He loves them very much. And funny thing was he had long hair and a beard, and his entire life he was clean cut, perfectly shaven, as he said. When he sends pictures home to his family, they just can't believe that that's him. But he tells them all he's okay, and he looked like he was going to be okay. We met young people on that trail. It was really cool because here they are. They haven't started their careers yet. Some just out of high school, some out of college. They're trying to figure out what they want to do for the rest of their lives, and what better way to do it than being connected on the Appalachian Trail and have hours upon hours to be by yourself to figure out where you want to go. Couldn't be better. And talking about being by yourself is kind of cool. You know, you walk along, you get a lot of time just to think, figure out what's going on while you're enjoying nature all around you. And there really is nothing to fear. I was never scared of anything. Well, I got nervous once or twice. I think there was a bear sniffing at my tent. If you watched my earlier videos, you would have heard that story. But that was quick. It was over, and it wasn't bad. You know, when we saw snakes, it was mostly grab your camera. I want to take a picture of that. You know, it wasn't like, oh my God. So that was really cool. There's a rhythm to the weather because you're disconnected from the internet. You look up at the clouds. You know, if it's wispy cirrus, you know there might be some weather coming in. You didn't have the weather app to take a look at. You had your own guessing to go on. You know, I did pretty well all by myself. I didn't need the weathermen. And if you did, you put a wrap on your backpack. If it was cool, you put on your raincoat. If you didn't, you leave it off and you hike. And that's what I did most of the time. I hiked and I observed nature. And it was awesome. And for anyone thinking of it, don't think anymore. Just do it. You'll love it. Trust me. Well, name is Kevin. My trail name is Giddy Ap. And this is my last story from this adventure. But stay tuned because I guarantee I'll be out there for another one. Take care for now. Giddy Ap.